Hello and welcome everyone, it is me, TheLaval, also known as the Power Tool Duelist, back for you with another deck profile. And today we will be starting a long trek through some updated Morphtronic deck profiles, and we are starting with Synchro spam. Just the classic, make Shooting Quasar and some generic negates variant, which has gotten a lot better, just as many other Morphtronic variants with the release of Dawn of Majesty. And yeah, I'm just really hyped to kind of go over all these variants with the new cards again. But we are starting the deck off with a classic in a playset of Morphtronic Celfon. While in attack position, you roll a 6-sided die, reveal that many cards from the top of your deck, and if you find a level 4 or lower Morphtronic under those cards, you can special summon it, and while in defense, you can just look at the cards revealed by this effect. But yeah, you want to get the attack position effect of multiple times per turn to spam the board and make some big extra deck monsters that are able to either, negate your opponent's card effects or just that are big and are able to swing for some damage. But yeah, Celfon is great, enables a lot of swarming. You want to get to this guy as fast as possible. And a new card from Dawn of Majesty makes that rather easy. And I am not at all biased in stating that Gizmek Naganaki, the Sunrise Signaler, is probably the best card printed in 2021 up to this point. This is a new Gizmek from Dawn of Majesty that lets you tribute a machine monster you control, whose attack equals its own defense, and then special summon a machine monster whose attack equals its own defense, this way around, equals the tribute with a level lower than the tributed monster from your deck. So, normal summoning this guy, tributing himself for the effect, nets you a level 1 machine monster whose attack equals its own defense. And who would have guessed? Celfon fits that bill. Great normal summon gives you essentially 3 more copies of Celfon, which is absolutely amazing and something Morphtronics have been needing for a while. The deck is still very normal summon reliant and you're still gonna die to 1 Ash Blossom, but damn does this guy make playing the deck a lot more easy and give you a lot more options in playing it. Also, you can banish him from the grave to add a face down banished machine that has equal attack and defense from your face down banished pile to your hand, but that effect doesn't come up in this list. But it will come up in a list I will probably share with you guys next week. So stay tuned for that. Next up, after this small interruption, we are getting back to our regularly scheduled program with Morphtronic Smartphone. While in attack position, similar to Celfon, you roll a 6-sided die, reveal that many cards from the top of your deck, and add a Morphtronic card from those to your hand. And while in defense, you can look at those revealed cards and put them either on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. The nice part about Smartphone is it's a level 1 tuner that can banish a Morphtronic from your grave to special summon itself from the hand, which makes this a really cool extender and not only easily enables Formula Synchron in combination with Celfon, but also enables a rather easy Naturia Beast play, which can win you some games on its own. Then we go into our other tuners in the form of Morphtronic Scopen. If while in attack position, you can once per turn special summon a level 4 Morphtronic from your hand, but it gets destroyed during the end phase. And while in defense, this guy is a level 4 tuner. Both really good effects. The defense position effect essentially enables an easy TG Hyper Librarian in combination with Celfon. But also the attack position effect is great for getting another level 4 body on the board and making Power to Dragon to grab an extender or making FA Dawn Dragster as an interruption. So definitely Scopen still a great card. And then we get into Morphtronic Remoten. This is your second machine dupe target behind Celfon, because while in attack position, you can banish a Morphtronic from the grave to add a Morphtronic with the same level from your deck to your hand. And while in defense, you can discard a Morphtronic and add a Morphtronic with the same level as the discarded one from your graveyard to your hand. So he definitely enables some really good late game plays, while also being able to consistently search for those big power cards like smartphone, and also grabbing level 4s when you need them. So that is very nice and also enables a very cool Levier play, which is very neat. Yeah, getting into the quick and easy non-tuner lineup of 2 copies of Morphtronic Staple. While in attack, your opponent has to attack him, and whatever destroys him in battle loses 300 attack. And while in defense, he cannot be destroyed by battle and is swapped to attack position at the end of the damage step, while also changing an opponent's monster to defense, which is very cool. Yeah, setting him used to be a good play, but you mostly want to play him for the fact that he is an Earth level 4 in this variant, since that, as mentioned, enables a very easy Naturia Beast, which can, as mentioned, win you some games on its own. Of course, we are playing the other level 4 Earth Morphtronic in combination with him. We are still playing 3 Boomboxen. Also, because it's an Earth, you could probably play 3 Staple and 2 Boomboxen. It really doesn't matter. But yeah, Boomboxen can attack twice while in attack position and can negate an attack on a Morphtronic monster once per turn while in defense. So definitely still some cool effects. But you most likely will want to use Boomboxen for some Synchros. Mainly Naturia Beast, but this guy will probably also find himself used for Quasar Dragon or other pieces of your combo, maybe a Librarian or something else. Another part that also enables easy Librarians is Morphtronic Lantron, a level 1 tuner that while in attack position reflects effect damage back to your opponent. So if you would take effect damage, your opponent takes that effect damage itself, and if this guy is destroyed by battle, while in defense, you take no battle damage for the rest of the turn, which is also a really cool effect, kind of a Wink Kuribo-esque effect. But the cool part about Lantron that it is another level 1 tuner that gives you some easy access to either Librarian or Formula Synchron. I still play the one Vacuuman. While in attack position, you can tribute an equip card equipped to this guy, send it to the grave, and burn your opponent for 500. But the main part why I run him is because while in defense, he can equip himself with a face-up attack position monster your opponent controls, which is kind of neat going second. Usually this build aims to go first, which is why you could probably replace this guy with a 3rd copy of Dice, maybe a Foolish Burial, or just, you know, another card you find in any way, shape, or form cool. But I like Vacuuman, so I run him. Getting into our 2 power 1-offs in the form of 1-for-1. Discard a monster card, special summon Celfon is essentially the effect text of this card. And also the 1 monster reborn to just have that additional extender. You're only playing 10 in this deck, so, you know, you gotta keep those numbers up. But yeah, with those out of the way, we are getting into the main centerpiece of your combos, Machine Duplication. Target a machine monster with 500 or less attack on your field, special summon up to 2 monsters from your deck with the same name as the targeted monster. Targeting Celfon, targeting Remote, and you can even target Lantron of this. Nets you additional bodies you can use for links, for synchros, for just basically everything you want. And that is what you will turn into those big extra deck monsters you are running, like Shooting Quasar Dragon, like maybe Power Tool Dragon, like Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, and many, many others. So Machine Duplication is definitely an awesome card, despite its age. Yeah. Getting into the first of many extenders, Junkbox, a normal spell card that lets you target a Morphtronic monster that is level 4 or lower in your grave, special summon it, but it gets popped during the end phase. End phase pop really doesn't matter in this deck, since you're gonna use it for a Synchro anyways, and getting that additional Celfon trigger, or getting just any Morphtronic from your graveyard back to the board, and having that body for a Synchro play is very nice and a key in this deck. Then we are playing 3 copies of Morphtronic Repair Unit. This is one of the searchable extenders that you can grab off your Power Tool Dragon. This is an equipped spell card that lets you discard a Morphtronic monster from your hand, target a Morphtronic monster in your grave, special summon the target monster in your grave, equip this card to it. And yeah, Another way to recur Celfon, smartphone, just any Morphtronic you want to recur. But with smartphone, you got to be mindful of, did you summon it off Celfon, or do you summon it by its own effect, since it has a special summoning condition. But this is still a great extender, especially since it is searchable by Power Tool Dragon. Next extender that is also searchable off Power Tool Dragon, DDR Different Dimension Reincarnation. Discard a card, target a banished monster, special summon it in attack position. Rather similar deal to Repair Unit, but just for banished monsters, and also being able to target any monster. Yeah, just another searchable extender. You do banish quite a few cards here and there during your combo with the effects of... Let me turn this around real quick. With the effects of Smartphone and with the effect of Morphtronic Remoten. So those are definitely there. And yeah, this just enables you to get those back and continue playing and building a board. And then capping off the main deck for me are 2 copies of Dice. As mentioned, you could play 3 if you don't want to play Vacuuman, since Vacuuman is a mostly going second-oriented card. You could also play Where Art Thou in this spot, since that is also a very powerful card that lets you grab additional copies of Smartphone or Lantron to your hand. But I just like the accessibility of Celfon, and I am also a huge advocate for rolling a dice from time to time. So yeah, with this out of the way, we shall get into the extra deck, which starts off with kind of the signature card of this deck, Shooting Quasar Dragon. Takes a tuner synchro monster and 2 or more non-tuner synchro monsters. Yeah, must be synchro summoned, can attack a maximum number of times equal to the non-tuners used for the synchro summon. Once per turn, this card is an Omni Negate for a card or effect. And if this guy leaves the field, you special summon a Shooting Star Dragon from your extra deck. You can basically replace this guy with any generic extra deck negate, but I run him because I want my Shooting Quasar Dragon to be able to float in a worst case scenario. And also Shooting Star is just cool. Shooting Star is just so cool. So yeah, Shooting Quasar Dragon, your probably main boss monster in this variant, instead of this guy, Power Tool Dragon. You only play the one because you want a combo of once, build a board, and hope your opponent cannot break it. This is, of course, an amazing card. I do not need to tell you guys that. An obvious bias is there. Once per turn, reveal 3 equipped spells from your deck. Your opponent randomly chooses 1 to add to your hand. And yeah, that is basically about it and what he does in this deck. I still play the one Livestream Dragon though. This could probably also be just, any generic extra deck negate, maybe a Borreload Savage Dragon, or anything else you have lying around. But this is Power Tool Dragon's evolved form. If this guy is synchro summoned, you can make your life points become 4,000, and if you would be destroyed, you can instead banish an equipped spell from the grave. Kind of cool effect. Also makes effect damage you would take become 0, so that may be kind of handy against some burn heavy decks, even those aren't really powerful right now. But there will always be someone activating Mystic Mine, so maybe keep him around. Then a copy of Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, probably what you will most likely do with a combination of Power Tool Dragon and a Smartphone or Lantron on the field. Takes a tuner and a non-tuner synchro monster. Once per turn, if a monster's effect is activated, you can negate that activation and destroy that card. And he afterwards gains attack equal to the base attack of the destroyed monster. Also, if he battles a level 5 or higher monster, he gains attack equal to that monster's current attack during damage calculation only. Great generic level 8 synchro monster you can make in this deck rather easily, again with Smartphone, Lantron, and Power Tool Dragon. So yeah, he is definitely a great inclusion, but you can probably work with many different extra deck negates that you just need to make. FA Dawn Dragster is another great level 7 option that offers you a spell or trap negate, because this guy gains 300 attack per each of his levels, and once per turn you can reduce its level by 2 and negate the activation of a spell or trap card. which is really neat and something that you may want to have around for those end boards. A copy of Stardust Charge Warrior is basically just here to have a second way to go into Shooting Quasar if your usual route of Librarian plus Sword Saga and Formula doesn't pan out. On Synchro Summon, he draws a card, so you have a similar interaction to Formula Synchron with Librarian, which would let you draw 2 cards on a Synchro Summon. But yeah, he's also here just to give you an additional route to go into Shooting Quasar. And then the man, the myth, the legend, TG Hyper Librarian. If a monster is Synchro Summoned, you draw 1 card. This guy is definitely still at 1 for a reason. Allows you to just draw a ridiculous amount of cards during your combo, and definitely has some awesome options on offer in case of, do you want to draw your whole deck? Yes. One of your main pieces to make the Shooting Quasar Dragon on turn 1. Then the copy of Naturia Beast. I've talked about this a few times. You very easily make this with Smartphone at any of your level 4 Morphtronics. If a spell card is activated, you can mill the top 2 cards of your deck and negate the activation and destroy the card. Very powerful effect, especially considering it is not once per turn, which essentially turns this into a, while you have cards in deck, your opponent cannot activate spells card. Very, very powerful, is able to steal games on its own. 1 copy of Shiranui Sword Saga. This could also be a super heavy samurai Swordmaster Musashi, but I went with the Sword Saga this time since Musashi can be a bit restrictive sometimes. If this guy is Synchro Summoned, you can swap a monster's battle position on the field, which is a rather nice effect since Morphtronics gain different effects depending on their battle positions, which may lead you to be able to trigger another Smartphone effect or maybe a defense position Scopen to make a higher level Synchro. So he's definitely helpful in many ways, but also he's a generic level 5 Synchro, so he makes Quasar Dragon. Old Entity Hastor is here to be a level 4, as mentioned, with Formula Synchron and Stardust Charge Warrior that equals Quasar Dragon. Can also be useful to get some monsters off the board and get an additional trigger of TG Hyper Librarian. But yeah, when he leaves the field, he can equip to an opponent's monster, negate that monster's effect, and the monster cannot attack, which is kind of great. And if he, as an equip card, leaves the field, you may take control of that monster. Feel free to maybe build around this, but only at your own risk. But he's mainly here to be a level 4 Synchro, so there's that. Then the 1 copy of Formula Synchron, I would maybe run 2 if I had the space, but I couldn't find it, honestly. Maybe cut the Livestream Dragon for a 2nd copy, because this is an absolutely amazing Synchro tuner. Because on Synchro Summon, this lets you draw a card, and during your opponent's main phase, you can perform a Excel Synchro and Synchro Summon on your opponent's turn, which also enables some cool plays with other extra deck monsters. But yeah, Formula Synchron, you want to make this guy with your cell phones and smartphones, your Lantrons and cell phones. You just want to make this guy draw a card and use this to make your Shooting Quasar Dragon to go into your end board. Then Levier the Sea Dragon. This is for machine duping Remoten, since this has great synergy with Remoten's attack position effect, because you can detach a material and special summon a banished monster to your field. Definitely a great extender, especially again, since you do banish quite a few cards during your combo. He could definitely bring back some key pieces and let you continue playing. Then a very slim link lineup of a Platinum Gadget that you make with 2 machines and lets you special summon a machine to a zone he points to. A level 4 lower machine, that is, once per turn, which is kind of great. Gets you additional machines onto the board and extenders. And yeah, very, very helpful indeed. Could probably also think about a Crystron Needle Fiber at this point, or Halka Fibrax as the TCG calls it. But capping off the extra deck is just a copy of Linkoribo. To, you know, turn a stray, Celfon, Smartphone, Lantron. You do play an awful lot of level 1s into this guy to maybe catch an attack that would otherwise hit one of your negates in the face. So yeah, this has been kind of, you know, Synchro Spam or the Quasar variant of Morphtronics post Dawn of Majesty, which has been a huge set for Morphtronics in general. Gizmek Naganaki is an absolutely amazing card. It is a house. I would call it a staple, honestly, in every Morphtronic build, in most Morphtronic builds going forward, because I'll probably not play it in my Machina variant. But it definitely gives the deck a very nice consistency boost. I made an entire video talking about the card, which I will probably link at this very late point somewhere up here. Definitely check that out if you're interested on like an entire study. Why Gizmek Naganaki is an absolutely great card, even if that video is probably titled a bit modestly. But nowadays, I definitely say Gizmek Naganaki is an amazing card and will probably find its way in many, many, many Morphtronics lists from now on. But yeah, this has been the deck profile, essentially. Let me know your thoughts down below. What kind of Morphtronic builds will you be putting together now with the consistency boost from Naganaki? Let me know in the comments down below. I am already hyped to see what you guys are coming up with, because I already have some stuff coming up in the coming weeks. Definitely look forward to that and some other updates for older builds. But with all this out of the way, this has been it. I will thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys again next time. But until then, goodbye.